Hello ladies and gentlemen, this tutorial is going to show you how to make an interactive web page like this sample here. You can choose a gender, male or female. This is a radio input, so you can only have one answer at a time. Then we have a text box here where you can insert the name. Then we have this field here which says gender, and that implies we haven't selected a gender, and that's because I haven't pushed the update button to run the function yet. So down here is our next category that we can choose using a drop-down box, and then we can run the program. And you can see it takes the input from male or female, changes this pronoun here, she, her. So it does change the word depending on where it is in the sentence. It's taken Mary, put Mary's name throughout the sentence or throughout the paragraphs. Whatever the item that's chosen gets placed throughout here. You can see as you update the story changes. So there's a sample. This tutorial is going to step you through how to create a website like this using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Alright, the project that I'm going to step you through next is I've just grabbed one of my kids' books off the shelf here, Dougie's Christmas. I'm going to make this story interchangeable on this website. So to get started with this, I've written out the story on paper using pencil, and then I've gone through and selected or chosen some words that could be interchangeable. I've selected a noun, which is going to be lights. The name of the main character, and then I've chosen that this story really needed a second character, then an adjective which is going to be lovely, a pronoun which is going to be he, and a verb which is going to be laughs. So some of these I'm going to make a text box so the user can just insert a name, but others I'm going to use a drop down box for. So for instance, lovely as an adjective, I'm going to give the user some suggestions of what you could choose, and then they're going to use the drop down box to choose the most appropriate one. The other input here is going to be the male or female, and this is going to change the pronoun from he or she. In your story, it might change the pronoun from her, his, etc. To use Webmaker, you will need to go to the Chrome store and install Webmaker. It is a Google Chrome extension, so make sure you are using Google Chrome. Once you install Webmaker, it'll look like this. This is the interface that you'll need to use. We've got 3 sections: HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. Once you've got Webmaker open, make sure that you can see your little icon over here in the profile section. Make sure that you are logged on because you want to be able to save your work. So you can name your work over here and then hit save. So the first step to creating this online interactive website is to type out my text that I've already done a draft for. I would recommend while you're typing out your code that you put new lines in by pushing enter. It'll just help you just spacing out where everything is. If you're anything like my story, you might need to hit the top right hand corner button of HTML, which is the expand section, to give you that full screen of HTML to type it all out. Once you've finished, hit save, and then you'll notice when you hit run that it doesn't have any formatting whatsoever on the preview section on the right hand side. So the next step here is to add some HTML tags. Dougie's Christmas is going to be our heading, so I'm going to use heading 1 tag, and that'll make that stand out. So as you're adding in your HTML tags, you can hit run to see what the preview actually looks like on the right hand side. Choose a main character. This is going to be our input section. So I'm going to leave this for now and continuing on with the rest down here. But what I will do is put a paragraph tag around this so it sits by itself. Next one is also going to be an input field. So for now I'm just going to put a paragraph tag around it. And then the story starts. So where the story starts, each one of these gets a paragraph tag around it. Make sure you're regularly hitting save. So let's come back up to our input areas here now, where it says choose main character. So that's on my draft. I've said that I'd like that just to be a text box. So to create a text box, input. So where I've put my drop down box is before the name. So I just need to shuffle this name around. So it's here. And we'll refresh. Choose a main character, name. And if I want a space between there, and next one is going to be the male and female component, which I'd like on another line. And we might give some instructions here. And to create the radio buttons, if we did this, we'd get another text box. But if we come in here and say radio, we get this little selectable button. So I want to duplicate that for the female. That's good. So now I've got my text box for my name and a radio button to select male or female. The next input is going to be choose a second character, which is down here. Inside that paragraph tag, I'm going to write input. And again, I don't need to put anything because the default is a text box. So far I've inserted 2 text boxes and 2 radio buttons. On my draft, just looking back at what I've decided to do, I need to include some drop-down boxes, which we haven't done yet. So the first drop-down box that I'm looking at on my sheet is the word lovely, this one down here. So if I find lovely in my HTML, remember you've got this button here which can expand the left-hand side. If I find lovely, here it is here. In code, it doesn't matter if I separate it by putting enters or new lines in, because when I run it, it's all going to look like that anyway. But what I've done is given myself a little bit of space to put the code for the drop-down box. So to insert a drop-down box, we need to use the code select. And then making sure we close off the tag select. This is going to be the first option. And then closing off the first option. Second option. And you want to think about what you're describing or what the next word that's coming after time. And we'll run that. And you can see I've got 2 options in my drop down box, lovely or great. So I can continue to add options by using the option tags. You can continue on creating as many options as you like in your project, but because this is just a demonstration, I'm only going to have 3. So my next one was laugh, so if I find that in my code, again I'm just going to give myself a little bit of room, and I'm copying exactly the same code as before, and there's no reason why you couldn't copy and paste. Remembering to close off your tags. Now I've crammed a fair bit into video number 1, and there's still quite a fair way to go to get this into an interactive website. So I'm going to stop it there, and you're going to have to watch video 2 to continue on. But can I just encourage you to go back through, pause, complete the task, and then continue watching, because it's a lot to watch and then go and do. So good luck, and let me know if you have any problems.